Right now, UK businesses are facing a perfect storm of increasing costs, higher taxes and difficult trading conditions. But with the right steps, you can help protect your business. Hi, I'm Mark from your finance team, and in today's video, we're going to cover the key things that can make your business resilient in tough trading conditions. Firstly, know your numbers. It's really important that you know your numbers and particularly have a forecast so you can see what your predicted future numbers looks like. Typically, we'd expect firms to have a cash flow forecast in place for at least the next 3 to 6 months and potentially 12 months and even out for the next 2 years. By having that forecast in place, it's going to give you confidence in where the money's going to come from and where your expenses are going to lie. And then that's going to help you make decisions about the future. So whether to invest in the future or whether you need to trim back your costs and make your operation more efficient. That leads us into the second area around cutting waste. So it's important that you cut waste but don't cut growth. And what this really means is scrutinising your cost base to making sure you're getting the best deals that you can from your suppliers. Often we see supplier relationships that have been in place for many years, very healthy relationships, but actually people are playing over the odds. So it's important that even if you've got established supplier relationships, that you're revisiting those relationships to make sure you're getting the best value from those suppliers. Another area is making sure you've got an emergency buffer in the business. It really is important that you've got the cash cover in your business that can protect you if things go wrong. And we normally say to firms to operate on at least a 3 months cash cover. So look, if you had no income coming into your business could potentially survive for 3 months and cover its costs for that period. Next area is getting paid faster. We see it very often that people are very generous with payment terms. They might be giving 30 days payment terms, 60 days payment terms. Sometimes payment terms are dictated by the client, your supplier, and they'll play hardball. They'll say, look, our standard terms are 60 days, and sometimes you don't have a choice. But make sure you are negotiating in that position because it is a supplier-client relationship. It is a two-way relationship. So if the payment terms are punitive, make sure you're negotiating heavily with those suppliers to try and get you in the best possible position that you get paid for your services in a timely way. And it's not unusual in these days that people ask for deposits up front or stage payments, and that's really important because that can then mean that cash flow is coming into your business sooner, and that's always going to help you from a cash flow perspective. The next area is scenario planning. And this often comes as part of the forecasting process. You can run scenarios to say, look, what happens if these scenarios play out? And those scenarios might be good scenarios, so you might win new business, or they might be bad scenarios, you might lose new business, or your costs might go up or down. And by running those scenarios, you can then start to understand your tolerances in your businesses. So how much can my sales go up? How much my sales go down? And what are the implications on my bottom line profits, and what are my implications on cash flow? And then what can that do is then can influence your break-even position. So if costs are rising, what does that mean for your break-even position? Because if your costs are rising, the simple logic is you've got to bring more money into the business to protect your break-even position in that business. And that's what scenario planning will give you. And the last area is considering outsourcing some of your key functions. Often we see efficiency savings where businesses outsource some of their roles, and this might be HR, it might be IT, it might be finance, to a third party. And what that then gives you is surety around cost, because potentially you're not paying employment costs, you're not paying employment taxes, you're not paying training costs, recruitment costs, and then again it can be more cost efficient for you to outsource some of those functions. So these are some of the areas that we would recommend that you look at if you are, if you're finding it tough, as a lot of small businesses are in the UK at the moment. But if you are finding it tough, have a look through some of the reasons. Hopefully some of those resonate with you and will be useful in your business. If we can be any assistance or help, please do get in touch with us.